Okay, I would like to begin. Thank you so much, Yoko, for inviting us. That was so kind of you. We were so touched and so surprised. We were so grateful. Thank you. So our presentation, like Yoko said, is on online debate preparation using Kialo EDU. And we're going to talk about what is critical thinking, what do students do during debate. We're going to show you what is Kialo EDU, and we're going to talk about Bloom's taxonomy and how Kialo relates to Bloom's taxonomy, how students can use Kialo to help them achieve higher level critical thinking skills. And then we're going to conclude. We're going to have a short discussion as well. Laura decided it was a good idea to have, and I wrote down the questions, Laura, so I can just put them in the chat box. Okay. Why don't I just put them in the chat box now?
Sure.
Hey, let's do that. So that when you I'm going to stop the recording and just put this in the chat box. So when you go through our presentation, you can start thinking about these questions. So you'll have an opportunity to talk to other people while you think about these questions. So what are the strengths of Kialo? What are the weaknesses? What are other activities that you can think of that you can do with Kialo EDU? And would you use Kialo EDU for your classes? Why or why not? So those are the 5 questions that you can think about while we go through our presentation. I'm going to screen share again. All right, can you see our presentation?
Yeah.
You good?
Yes, that's
okay. Okay, good. All right, Laura, would you like to talk about critical thinking and what it is?
Yeah, so we're first going to talk just briefly about what critical thinking skills are and then why they're useful for EFL students, and then also how to apply them. So if we go into the what.
Can you see?
So, yes, thank you. Yeah, so critical thinking skills include being able to think objectively about a topic, to be able to identify both sides of an argument or claim, and to be able to evaluate the strengths and determine the weaknesses of an argument or claim, and also to be able to recognize the implications of that, like the real world implications and also logical implications, and to be able to build evidence into your argument and sort of evaluate other people's evidence too. Okay, so next we're going to talk about why it's useful for EFL students. So it's important for EFL students because it can help them to make better decisions and in everyday life and in learning as well, and have more successful outcomes because they will consider the impact of their speech and actions on other people. And it also helps learners to anticipate consequences of claims and ideas and actions across 4 different spheres: personal, professional, societal, and global. So it kind of, it's useful everywhere. So I think Heather's going to talk about how it can be applied.
Okay, so we can apply these critical thinking skills. We can use them for in-class debates, and we think that we can help develop students' ability to create and to analyze and evaluate arguments with the in-class debates. So that's what the how is. How can we do it? We can use debate. So we're going to talk about debates now, and at Rikyo, I teach at Rikyo University, and so this class was quite new. This is our first year of doing the debate class, and we the committee set up the debate quite traditionally. So I'm just going to go through what is what is a debate, right? So there's 2 rounds. Wait 1 second. There's 2 rounds, and there's a break in between, and then they finish at the end. So the first round is when the pro team, like for a certain position, for example, eco bags are more environmentally, are better for the environment than plastic bags. Let's just say that. It's a really bad proposition. Can you think of a better one, Laura?
Oh, perhaps.
Eco bags are better. I think that's the example we used in the Kialo. Okay, eco bags are better than plastic bags. Okay, eco bags are better. That's the proposition. So the team that's like for that proposition is going to give 3 arguments that eco bags are better than plastic bags. Sorry, I'm sorry, Laura. I was just like, oh, what example did we use? And then the con team, the other team, was like asking cross-examination questions, like about the team's arguments, the 3 arguments. And then after that, the con team gives their 3 arguments. And then the next step is the pro team asks their challenge questions, asks the cross-examination questions. So that's the first round. And if you're familiar with debate already, you already know the round, but if you're not, this is the way it is. Oh, where are we going? Okay, here we going. Okay, and then there's break time. And during the break time, they kind of talk about, like, you know, how it went or what they would like to do better. They can prepare for round 2. And then in round 2, the con team gives the weak point about the other team's argument, and the pro team replies. This is called the rebuttal and refutation section. And then the pro team gives the weak points of the other team's arguments, and the con team replies to those to defend their argument. And then at the end, they both summarize, and then the debate finishes. And you usually have some judges, like you can nominate some students to be judges, where they decide whose argument was stronger, you know, and the good points and the weak points of the debate. So that's the steps of the debate. I hope that's clear. Yeah, I hope that's clear for everybody. You have any questions?
One of the advantages of Kialo, isn't it? Because it does make it clearer for the students. It is quite a complicated structure, isn't it?
It is quite complicated. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, you can just, you know, use the chat box and ask us a question there.
Yeah.
Okay, Laura?
So we're going to talk about the platform now, which Heather was using in her group. It's called Kialo Edu. It's an online platform, which is kind of open. I believe you don't need to sign up. You can, or you can sign up anonymously. So that's good for students. It's text-based, but you can also add links into it. We'll show you that later. Basically what it does is it allows you to build debate trees. So you can see the structure of the proposition and then the pro and cons against. And because it's online, it can be synchronous or it can be asynchronous. So you could have students all logging in at the same time to work together, or you could have them log in to input their ideas whenever they wanted to over the period of like a week or something. And it's mainly used for debate prep, but you could also use it to actually have a text-based debate if you wanted to. But we've used it for prep in this. Okay, so next, how to use it.
Would you like
to
show the website, or?
Yeah, so I'll just quickly,
Or would you like me to show it now, or would you like me to?
Yeah, if you show it now, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just exit full screen.
This is, can you see it? The
Kialo
page? Okay.
Yeah, that's good. The next part is talking about how we're going to use it. So we had, like Heather was saying, the proposition.
Yeah, this is
earlier.
Kialo. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is basically, this is a real classroom debate that Heather's students had, but we have cloned it so that none of the students' names or anything are on there. So it looks like Heather is the only author, the only writer, but these are students.
Yeah, like here, this is just me, 58 claims.
Yeah. So there's lots of different ways you can use it. So firstly, you would want to create the proposition or thesis. So if you can go to the...
Yeah, this is the proposition right here.
Yeah. And then you can add, students can add the pros and cons. So you can see each little bubble is a different pro and a different con. And I'm just making it a little bit bigger for myself. And in each, if you can go into, can you zoom into one of the bubbles?
Yeah. So let's go here.
Yeah. So underneath each pro, or con, you've got further pros and cons relating to that statement. So you can see other students have added additional like supporting claims, and another student has added like a kind of a rebuttal or refutation to that.
Yeah, so
claim.
Using eco bags help make sustainable world. And then the pro is reusable bags are made of renewable materials, making them more sustainable. But the con is a cotton bag needs to be used 7,100 times to equal the environmental profile of a plastic bag.
Yeah.
So like, it's just this is, yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't use my eco bag 7,100 times.
I have no idea.
I don't really.
Quite a lot.
How many years would that would take a very long time to get up to that. But yeah.
Yeah, and you can see, oh, sorry, if you could stay there.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Thanks. You can see that some of them have got, actually all of these have got a link in there. So they've linked to where they got this idea from. So if you're getting students to do research to find evidence for their claims, then they can add the link in here.
Yeah, and
oh, sorry.
You can click on it and go to the web page to see where they got their information.
Yeah.
And you can say thank you by pressing this little heart. It's really cute.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And you can also rate the impact and see like how strong you feel this claim is, like how much evidence you believe it, and the students can too. This is all of these things the students can do as well.
Yeah, and everything that the students can do, you or the teacher can also do, plus other things as well.
You can come over here and you can write the perspective, like how about the perspective of the Japanese government, and you can create the new perspective. So students rate the claims based on the different perspectives.
Yeah.
So what the Japanese government would say, they can rate them according to that. You can create many different perspectives as well, points of view. Is there anything else, Laura?
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of things, peer editing and then statistics. So they can also, there's a chat box on the right-hand side somewhere. I think it's on the right-hand side on my computer.
A chat box?
Yeah, at the top, isn't it? There, next to your profile picture.
Oh, here.
So if you're doing a synchronous debate, they can actually discuss in the chat box here as well at the same time, or they can leave messages for each other here for asynchronous preparation. Yeah, and they can also edit each other's work as well and leave comments on, I think if you go to one of the claims, there's like a little comment bubble on it, isn't there? And they can comment on that as well. So it encourages peer evaluation.
Yeah.
Which is good again for asynchronous learning is good. And then also the teacher statistics. So I think you showed us that. Yeah.
This is it.
So it shows like that's like a big graph, isn't it? Of the blue thing is the main proposition, right? And then it shows you the pro proportions and con proportions in the different colors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you can see, because obviously we cloned this, so it only has his name, but it would be a long list of students who all contributors.
You can also have them use like nicknames. They don't have to use their real names, or you don't have to even have this at all. They can be completely anonymous. Yeah, it's totally up to you.
So it's good because you can see how many contributions each student's made. So that can be claims, it can be posts, it can be comments, isn't it? So
I got up to like, some of the students had like over 400 claims. Like they get really into it. Like we had over like 600 views, and it was just crazy. Like some of these, and I only gave them about a week to do, and like some of them just went. I had them create their own propositions. So like tourism students would create like, should Japan host the 2020 Olympics in 2021? And they just went crazy. Like they spent so much time, because this is like interesting things to them. So when they have a topic that's related to their major that they have chose themselves, you get like a ton of activity on Kialo, and it looks really cool. How do the students?
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've got a question.
Thank you so much for asking the question. How do they get into it? Well, you can send them a private link. It's a good idea not to make it public. I mean, you have an option to make it public, but I never do. We send them a link. You can also, I use Blackboard, and you can put it on Blackboard in HTML. You can actually have it so that they can access it on Blackboard on their screen, so they don't even have to go to the website. There's so many different ways, I think, for them to access it. They have so many different options. I highly recommend you just go and explore, because there's so many different ways. But I posted it on Blackboard, so when they went into their Blackboard, they can access it that way. They don't have to actually, And you're gonna have them log in and create a user account and have them access it that way. There's a lot. Okay, thank you for the question. Is there any more questions, or? I don't know.
I mean, that's it for the points that we have for this part. So
we'll keep going on then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to this.
So we've just gone over those points, and that was the example that we made.
Thank you, Adam. So I think we've done all of the refutations part. The counter arguments are the, like, if you have the pro, and you click on that claim, and then it would be the con of the pro, or the con of the con. That would be the refutation, the counter argument. What else? We have, anyway, we did everything. Sorry. Okay, would you like to move on?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sometimes Prezi goes crazy. It's like, we want to scroll right in there. Okay.
So next it's why it's good to use it. So it helps students to prepare for in-class debate. So as you saw, like with the tree, and previously we had the debate structure that Heather talked about for her course. that's quite complicated to follow, the debate structure. Even for like us trying to write it to explain it, it was complicated. But when you've just got the Kialo Edu tree, it's much more simple. You can easily see where the pros and cons are, which argument relates to which argument. So it's really good for that. It helps them collect all of their information, all of their ideas in one place, so they can always go back to that and review it.
Yeah.
And because then they're building up the kind of the body of like claims and ideas and evidence, they're not going into a debate with just like a few notes. You know, they've done all this work and prep work, and it's kind of, as you're researching it and writing it down, it goes into your mind, so you can much better prepare for and have much richer like debates in class. And as I said, the visualizations help them identify the different parts. And with the perspectives thing that we showed with Heather put in the Japanese government's perspective, that can help students to think about other viewpoints. So you could actually set that up as a whole like task of like debating one topic for 2 different groups and 2 different sides.
Yeah.
And it encourages collaboration and teamwork. So with the comments and the little hearts and the rating each other's claims for strength and the chat box, you know, they're all working together, be it synchronously or asynchronously. And and to check understanding and progress, so they can check their own progress really, because they can see what their contributions were in different, if you do this more than once, and it checks their understanding, so they can help give feedback on each other's understanding, you know, say, oh, no, maybe this claim should be actually over here, or maybe this refutation relates better to this claim. And also we can do that as teachers, we can see everything that they've done.
We can actually move each claim. You can press the claim and drag it to another part of it's very easy for them to move, and it's very easy for the teacher to move as well. So they can, if they feel like that support for that particular claim is better somewhere else, they can click it and just move it. It's very, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you've ever done like an activity in class where you cut up bits of paper and put ideas and move them around. It's kind of like that, but on the
yeah, drag and drop. Yeah. Okay. And then Bloom's taxonomy. I think we're all familiar with this, so I'm going to go quickly through it. But this is the revised taxonomy, and it's like a pyramid, and you start with the remembering, and you move up to understanding, and then you have applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating at the top. And we're going to go through mainly apply, analyze, evaluate, and create more in depth for you right now.
Yeah.
Laura, are you doing the apply or?
Yeah, I think we're doing alternate ones, isn't it? So
I'm gonna press apply now.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, so we're gonna talk a bit about how you can apply these topics to through Kialo Edu. So,
how students can use Kialo to apply information.
So basically, in the Bloom's taxonomy, applying is divided into two parts. So it's executing and implementing. So for using procedures, you can execute the procedure and implement it. So for example, in like a language class, just a speaking class, if you're teaching the word because, executing it would like maybe be doing it in like a close or a word jumble sentence or something, or a drill, if you did drills. And implementing it would be using it in conversation. So the same with debate skills and debate knowledge of the structure and knowledge of the different forms. You can execute those through Kialo Edu by, because it's asynchronous and kind of slow, like you're not under pressure to perform, you can practice like those skills, use it through Kialo Edu, but then implement those in the classroom debate that you have afterwards based on Kialo Edu. So it provides that kind of scaffolding for the apply skill. So yeah, so once they know the organizational structure, they can apply their claims to the tree. And once they know the debate structure, they can apply Kialo Edu structure to their debate. Okay, so Heather's going to talk about analyze.
Yeah. So how can students use Kialo to analyze information? So analyzing is breaking a whole into different parts to like differentiate, to organize information, to attribute certain information, to, you know, categorizing it. And students can, we said they can differentiate relevant versus irrelevant sources of information. So when they're doing like research, they're, you know, picking out relevant information and applying it to the Kialo EDU, the right section that information should go to. What, you know, whether it's a rebuttal of a refutation or a cross-examination question, they need to know, you know, what part is what, you know, what information is what. And then they organize the information into the structure, into the Kialo, to depict the relationships. And then they attribute assumptions and viewpoints and biases to information on Kialo, which is also analyzing. So in this way, we believe that that's how Kialo EDU helps students to analyze information. Is there a question?
Yeah, we've got a comment. Yeah, that's
it can be applied to thesis writing. I totally agree. I know. I actually did it as well when I wrote one of my papers. I used Kialo in order to write the paper, as I was like, I have all this information and I need it to be organized. So I actually went on to Kialo and wrote like the outline of my paper on Kialo, and then I wrote it. Yeah, that was a really good comment. Thank you.
I'm going to do that next time.
Yeah, it works well. Okay, Laura?
Yeah, so next is the evaluate skill. So again, we've divided this, or it's Bloom's taxonomy divided this into two aspects, so checking and critiquing. So this evaluating it is assessing quality and making decisions based on criteria, and checking and critiquing based on those criteria. So checking would be, in Kialo Edu, checking would be, for example, if a student checked that each other's work was in the correct part of the tree. So if, you know, oh, this claim doesn't, this refutation doesn't really relate to this claim, we want to move it over here, that's kind of the checking. And they can check also that the links, when they put the link in, that what the claim they've written is actually the correct claim from that link, and that they've understood what the person in the link has actually said.
Right.
So yeah, so they can check information and question claims. And then for critiquing, they want to critique it based on the criteria. So we've got the evaluation criteria. This is from Heather's course, from the debate course, if you could zoom in. Yeah, thanks. So they, the evaluation is, are the points correct? Is the information true? So again, that's kind of like the checking that we talked about before, like if, you know, the claims are in the right place, etc. Are the points completely true or only partially true? So this is where like the rating function comes in, we think. You know, they can rate the strength of the claim based on kind of the veracity of it, and also the relevance. So is what the other team said relevance, and is what the other team said important. So all of these things, they can either add a comment to say, oh, I don't really think that's true, or something, or they can add a refutation, sort of saying, here's the evidence to show why this isn't true. And they can, rate it for strengths and importance. Yeah, so I would think it satisfies the evaluation criteria and this critiquing part of evaluation skills.
And the last one is, how can students use Kialo EDU to create? And create is at the top of the pyramid, so it encompasses actually more than one of the other bottom of the categories of the pyramid. So what is create? Create is brainstorming new ideas. It's choosing the best idea. So you have to evaluate. It's planning to solve the problem. So it's talking about more like how to implement. It's sort of a plan, apply sort of thing, and then create a unique design. So generate, plan, produce. So students, we think this is probably the most challenging for Kialo EDU because creating something completely new. I think when they're creating their tree, the Kialo tree itself, it's new. I mean, something that's not been there before. So I feel like they're putting all these different ideas from everywhere together. So they are creating their unique tree. And if you give the same proposition to 10 different classes, 5 different classes, you're going to have 5 different trees. They're going to find different sources of information. Not one tree is going to look the same. So I think in that way, it's creating something new. It's creating something different. They're generating, the best case scenario is when they're generating their very own ideas that they haven't really found in other resources. I mean, they've searched for them and then they create this new reason, new idea. And that would be creating. That would be at the highest level of the pyramid. Creating a unique set of ideas on this tree. Do you have anything else to say about that, Laura? Or
they're creating their speeches as well. If they're doing kind of the, when they're doing the first part of each part of the debate is a kind of a speech, basically, isn't it? So they're going to use Kialo to help them to create those speeches. So,
they have those, like, I say 3 arguments, but they can give as many arguments as they want within a certain time limit. And they're, creating those individual sort of ideas. So that's Kialo with Bloom's taxonomy. And we're going to conclude. Laura, when do you think we should do the discussion? Should we do the discussion now, or should we?
If we wrap up some of the points and then just leave it on that page, maybe.
We have a question. Oh, we can leave it on the reference page. Okay.
Yes.
So our conclusion is, Laura.
We talked about critical thinking skills and debate organizational structure, and
we talked about Bloom's taxonomy and Kialo EDU,
and we talked about how Kialo EDU facilitates the higher order critical thinking skills on Bloom's taxonomy. So hopefully you guys will consider using